Well, hi again, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of On the Town with Suz and Doug as we wave to you once again. Beautiful Sarasota. And another episode in our entertainment series where we go back and look at some of the TV shows or movies that she and I grew up with watching on TV. And hopefully you did as well if you're in our age group.
Yeah.
Well, we got a good one for you tonight. This was a very popular show back in the late 70s into the early 80s, a staple on Saturday night. And I'll let you tell everybody what it is.
This one is Fantasy Island.
This is part of the ABC lineup. Used to be CBS had that great lineup. We talked about it before when we did the Bob Newhart video. We had Mary Tyler Moore, Bob Newhart, and Carol Burnett on Saturdays. After those shows went off later on in the late 70s and 80s, ABC had Love Boat and Fantasy Island on Saturday nights, right?
Yeah.
Big lineup.
Big line. That was, and actually, and I liked Love Boat also. My dad said it was kind of fun because he said on Love Boat you would see stars that he said you hadn't seen in a while, but they would Love Boat kind of picked up.
Right. Yeah, we'll do a separate one on Love Boat, but Fantasy Island's the same way. They're both produced by Aaron Spelling.
Okay. Yeah.
Longtime producer, and his shows, all those shows had stars from the past on.
Yeah.
along with the young stars coming up. So he always would mix them up. Fantasy Island the same way. Whenever the beginning of the show, when they had them coming off that little airplane.
Yeah.
Introduce them, and it would always be a star from the old time, and then they'd have the younger ones, right?
It's interesting, yeah.
Like Ethel Merman or old movie stars, from the heyday of movies that weren't working much anymore.
Yeah, it was really,
But older audiences love that. They grew up on those people.
Yeah, so it was kind of like that was actually, when you think about it, very clever because it appeals. If they have like recent stars or stars that are up and coming, so it appeals to younger people, but then it also appealed to the more mature audience too.
Yeah,
so.
like TV used to be. They tried to appeal to everybody instead of just one age group, more or less.
Exactly.
Yeah, and those shows did that. But we'll just remind the people, or people have never heard of the show. It was the great Ricardo Montalban. Who never quite sure who he was. They kind of alluded maybe he was an angel. He had mystical kind of abilities on this island, which originally in the pilot movie was Hawaii. I mean, that's where they used as the set. They actually shot I think the pilot in Hawaii. Then when they did the TV show, they just shot it in Hollywood. But I think it was supposed to be like in the Pacific somewhere.
Yes.
They never said exactly where it was, but it was this little island that people would spend a lot of money to go. Apparently, it was expensive for these fantasies. Remember?
Yeah, it was very, very expensive, and it would be like thousands of dollars.
It's like a weekend. I mean, they're very short. You didn't stay there very long.
It was amazing. Just 2 days, and you would have.
They had to take a jet somewhere. Then they had to take that little crummy seaplane and land.
And I loved how Mr. Rourke always went, smiles. Everyone smiles.
Right.
And Tattoo would go, yes, boss. And, wow, who is this, boss? And it was so cute. And ding, ding, ding.
Getting an impression of Hervé Villechaize tonight, folks, from Suz. I can't do it.
Smiles, everyone smiles. And it was so funny. It was really good.
Ricardo Montalban was a great actor. I mean, he
really good actor.
And of course, he was one of those actors from the 40s and 50s who did MGM musicals, and he did everything.
Wow. Could he sing? I
guess he sang a little bit. He danced. He made movies with Esther Williams. A lot of those musicals where they swam, and so he was big in Mexico before that. He grew up in Mexico.
See, that was so weird. For some reason, I always thought he was from Spain, but he's not.
He grew up in Mexico, came to the States. He had an older brother. People might remember Alexa Gente. Remember those commercials for the coffee?
Yeah.
Alexa Gente? That was his brother, older brother. So he came to America first and did those commercials eventually, not, till later. And I guess he got Ricardo to join him, and Ricardo came to the U.S. and started working in I think theater and then movies, yeah, and then television. But
Wow.
he was, I mean, this was later in his career. He was, I guess, in his 50s maybe when he did Fantasy Island. So he'd been around a while. Yeah.
It's really, yeah, because Fantasy Island, it was one of those shows you look forward, you used to look forward to it because I remember my parents, because I was in junior high and high school
Right.
when I used to watch Fantasy Island and Love Boat, I think, and I remember they used to belong to this dinner group, so they would be out,
All
and
right.
eating
Suze would
Stouffer's,
have
French
control of
fries,
the TV.
pizzas. Yeah, I'd be eating like pizza or something at home and watching Love Boat and Fantasy. I really liked Fantasy Island too.
Yeah.
That
I remember
at
Love Boat was, I think, 9 and Fantasy Island was 10 o'clock, at least in
10
New
o'clock.
York. Yeah.
Yeah, 10 o'clock. And the interesting thing I think about Fantasy Island was sometimes the fantasies could be scary too.
They
They
always
have,
had kind of a dramatic one,
yeah,
and then they'd sometimes get a little scary, and then other times, and then they have a like a comedic one, lighthearted
yeah,
one.
light,
Yeah.
yeah,
Sometimes they had two going on at once. Sometimes they had three going on
yeah.
at one in one show. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I remember there was one show. It was really weird. I didn't know how they did this. It was this lady. She's a very famous actress and a blonde. You would know her if you saw her.
Yeah.
And she was the great 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 granddaughter of Victor Frankenstein.
Oh yeah, I think I just remember
And
that one. Yeah.
yeah, it was like Frankenstein's
You want to
past.
recreate it? Recreate
Yeah, it was
Frankenstein?
really creepy because the monster was there to, and actually, as a junior high kid, it was like, this is scary. Yeah,
That must have
some,
been a Halloween episode. Yeah.
yeah, and then they had a Jack the Ripper episode
Remember
too.
that? Yeah. They
That
they
was
recreated
creepy.
London in whatever that was, late 1800s or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he came back to the island. He
Right.
somehow got out of that being an, and then Mr. Rourke had to step in because, yeah, he didn't want people on the island.
Sometimes, like things got kind of hairy, and then at the end, you see Mr. Rourke step in to save the person from
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
yeah,
But nobody
and
was ever going to get hurt on Fantasy Island.
nah,
They
but it
mostly
was.
they learned a lesson. Either like, if they wanted to be a millionaire or something and a playboy, they would learn, well, maybe that's not really what I want. There's a little morality lesson, which
It
was
was
nice.
really good.
TV
What
did that.
I really liked, and you know what else I liked? What he did? He would do these things like sometimes like tattoo. Would ask him these questions like
Right.
the visitors were getting off the plane, and then he would say, "Who's that lady? Who's that?
Yeah.
I can't, who's that lady, boss? And who's this?" And then Mr. Rourke would tell Tattoo, well, this is.
Yeah, they had to set it up. Yeah, what they were
And
going to
he
do.
would tell a story. But then he was so good, Ricardo Montalban, how he would get this concerned look on his face.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes like, we'll see how this, I'm not sure. Like he wasn't sure he should have even done the fantasy,
Right, right.
but he played that so well. That was really,
I saw an interview what he did. You can watch them on YouTube. Interview with him, and I guess they were asking him, who did you portray? Mr. Rourke. Was he an angel? Was he just a
yeah.
human being? And he played it like he was an angel, maybe back on Earth to kind of earn his way back to heaven. The guy.
Oh, wow.
That's why he was on Earth the whole time. So
That's
he was
interesting.
always good. He was always did it for the good, and there was a learning process to it. But that's the way he played it, like he was an angel.
Oh,
Maybe a
wow.
fallen angel, but he was working his way back by doing these good
Yeah.
things. And
Because he stepped in when, yeah, because sometimes things got kind of hairy.
there's some, little mystical things going on there that, he had
Yeah,
mystical abilities. They never really explained it, so there's something more than just human there.
yeah, it was
But good,
interesting.
but in a good way. It wasn't the devil or anything.
No, no. And Tattoo was supposed to be just his
He was like
helper.
the assistant. You go ring the bell when the plane was coming.
It was cute. It was so cute, like how he would do that. And hey, Bob.
Tattoo was in the James Bond movie. Remember, Man with the Golden Gun. Before that, remember?
Yeah, he was in
I didn't
that.
know that till afterward. I saw that movie. Oh, okay, yeah, he's in that. Yeah,
He was in. I think there was one movie I remember, like with Britt Eklund. I think she was the Scandinavian
yeah,
actress, and it was some weird thing where she Tattoo was in a he was on the boat with them, or he jumped out of a closet or something, and then he was trying to get Roger Moore, and then
right.
there was an empty suitcase there, and Roger Moore
Oh, he
got.
stuck him in the suitcase. Yeah, that's right. Because he really was that small. It wasn't, that
Oh
wasn't.
my God.
He was about less than 4 feet. Apparently, kind of sad. He had the body. He had like regular size, heart and lungs and everything, but the body was so small. He was always in pain. That's what Ricardo Montalban said. He was, yeah, sad, and he eventually killed himself.
Is that what happened?
Committed suicide. Yeah, yeah.
How old was he, Doug? Do you
I
know
think
how?
maybe in his 50s, early 50s, maybe. Yeah, Ricardo said he could be a little difficult, but I think because mostly he was in pain, but he was a little difficult. Remember, he left during the last year. He wanted more money. He wanted the same money that Ricardo Montalban was getting.
And
They
that,
told him
yeah,
to take a hike.
you know what happened? They got this girl.
They got the
They
girl, kind of cute girl they got. Yeah, yeah.
She was like Cindy. Was she a
What,
relative
Wendy, was
of
it Wendy? I think her name was Wendy.
Wendy?
Is that her
Wendy.
name?
It was, yeah, she was really cute, and she the relative of Mr. I don't know how, maybe
She
a
wore
niece.
that white outfit, right? So
Yeah,
she's been a relative. And then they had this other British guy that was in Mr. Belvedere, was
yeah. I was
his
trying to.
assistant as well. Yeah.
Yeah, they had. I kind
I
of
guess he
like.
was the assistant, Mr. Belvedere guy, and then
Yeah,
she was kind of helping out with the fantasies, right?
I kind of like that better for some.
Yeah.
I
But Ricardo said in an interview, Hervé wanted the same money that Ricardo got, and the producer said no. So he left.
Oh my
It was
God.
sad. I mean, he was in pain a lot, and he left the earth
Probably
earlier.
were friends because I guess they probably got to be
Ricardo said
friends.
he loved the guy, but he said he was difficult.
What was he Mexican too? Tattoo?
He's French.
Was he?
Yeah, French. Yeah.
God. Yeah, I always wondered. I didn't know if he was Spanish or
Yeah. Yeah, Villachez. Yeah, but I think he was born in Paris.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. That
Quite the
yeah.
ladies' man too, apparently.
I heard he married a model. She was
He was
very
married at least once, but quite the ladies' man. Yes.
yeah. They said that he was married to a model that was like 6 feet tall.
Yeah, that must have been interesting.
How did that work out? I was like,
Worked
oh
out
my,
for Hervé. I don't know how it worked out for the model, but
that is so funny. Oh my God. I just I feel bad that he hurt himself. I guess he never
yeah,
had.
that was sad when you heard about that. I don't know, maybe 15 years ago. I'd have done that, yeah.
Oh my
But
God.
but it worked together. It was a good show, and then like you said, they would have all these old time Hollywood people on, and they'd have the younger people from other ABC shows. They have on, and then people that you never heard of that were like the hot looking young actresses they'd have on. Yeah.
It was really interesting. Yeah, they had like
Seems like the Lander sisters were on there quite a bit.
they were
Our
on.
friends, the Lander sisters,
Yes, they they
Sarasota.
they were on. I remember them on Fantasy Island. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was trying to think when Dallas, because when did Fantasy Island go off the air? I was trying to.
I think it was like, what did they come on, like 78 to like 84 or something like that? 84 maybe it went off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
84. Okay, so Dallas was.
85, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was like
The
78.
Dallas went off in 91, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But people would make, appearances and episodes, even if they're on other series, But I
Yeah.
remember the Lander sisters were on there.
Yeah, I remember Judy
Yeah.
and yeah, Audrey. I remember them. I think Mary Crosby.
Probably, yeah. I'm sure she was on there. Yeah.
I don't think Larry Hagman.
Now, he never did any other shows, like guest shots that I ever saw.
I I don't know about Sue Ellen or Linda Gray.
Yeah, maybe not during Dallas, but usually
Yeah.
the people that were on ABC shows would cross over. Like Betty White would sometimes come
Oh
over.
yeah,
She
he
was
was
on
good.
other shows, and
Yeah, that was cool.
what other
Yeah,
young actors? I guess some of the Charlie's Angels people came over. I think,
that was that.
not as Charlie's Angels, but the actor like Jacqueline Smith, I think, did one, and
Yes,
I think Cheryl
I
Ladd might have done one.
I think Kate
She
Jackson.
might have, yeah.
Yeah, they crossed her. And then you know who else from Knots Landing? Michelle Lee.
Oh, Michelle Lee and the other
Yeah.
blonde one,
Yeah.
Aline. What was her name?
Oh,
Yeah,
she was pretty.
yeah.
Um,
Can't think of
it's
her name
terrible.
now, but anyway, yeah, she
She
did the
was pretty.
crossover. Yeah.
Yeah, talent. They're all such good actresses. And I think Michael Caine might have been on
Did he do one? Yeah, yeah.
because he was such a, I don't know, it's weird because he was such a high profile. I don't know.
Yeah, he would do TV occasionally. So
But I
he done a
think,
couple.
yeah, it's weird how he turned up in different. Uh,
Yeah,
was he ever in a TV series that you know of, Doug Michael
I don't
Caine?
think I don't think he ever had his own series, like regular series that I can
I
remember.
was he. I think he was mostly movies.
Mostly movies, and then we were talking before we recorded this. You did that Jack the Ripper
Yeah,
miniseries. It was a
that
two-part
was.
miniseries, but
Oh, that was
you
so
do that
good.
for television. You know,
That was really good.
he show up on a talk shows quite a bit. On the Tonight Show. So yeah.
Yeah, he was really. Yeah, they said that he lived for a while in West Palm Beach.
Oh, he lived in Florida. Yeah.
He had an art gallery.
Oh, I didn't know that. I know he lived probably part of the time in L.A., but I know he lived in West
Yeah,
Palm.
I didn't know that either. It was weird. Or
Yeah.
somehow he would visit here, and people are like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Michael Caine came in. That would be really different.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said he would just turn up. That they said he's an actor that just turns up sometimes.
You never got the impression he was like stuck up or anything. He was
No,
a regular guy. Yeah.
regular guy. I think his wife was not. She was just like a regular.
Yeah, I don't think she was in show business. Yeah. Yeah.
No, she was like a Yeah, he seemed like that's what I liked about him, like a regular guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
He wasn't
Yeah.
like
I think same thing we could say about Ricardo Montalban. They said he was like the nicest
he seemed like
guy
a
you'd ever want to meet, not stuck up or anything, Uh,
no, no.
did everything. I mean, for people that remember watch Star Trek, of course, he was in the original series as Khan, then he did the movie Star Trek 2. Remember, he played Khan.
Oh, now was
Was
there
that-
was there a con in the series, the
There was an
TV?
episode where he played that same character, and then later on they made the movie. It was the same character again.
Oh,
It was a villain, but it was classic. Yeah,
I know you
he's
said he
like a
was.
guy trying to take over the world. One of those.
Oh, I know you said he was really good in that.
Really good. He could play that, and then he could play, the
Nice guy.
lighthearted stuff. Yeah, he'd show up on like in not Mission Impossible, Hawaii Five O. A lot of the crime shows. He'd show up, do guest shots. He
He's
did
really.
westerns. Show up like in a Bonanza and those things. So
Oh, yeah, it
he
was
he,
really.
he did a lot of those kind of things.
Yeah, like yeah, I don't know why, and I remember the Chrysler Cordoba.
Oh, the commercials.
It was really
Yeah,
good. It made you want to buy one of
yeah, the
those
rich
cars.
Corinthian leather. And
Yeah, it was. It would say Chrysler Cordoba. They were nice looking.
they look nice. I don't think they were considered like great cars. The people that owned them said they were not great.
No,
But
no,
the
I'm
commercials made you want to buy one, though. It's kind of
not.
like they want to make it like it was their Cadillac. Chrysler was their Cadillac.
Chrysler. I remember my mom's friend had the what was it? It was the Cougar. There was
Mercury
a
Cougar. Yeah.
Mercury Cougar. They were nice looking
They were
too.
they were back in the 70s. They were good cars. I mean, they looked nice. Yeah.
They looked nice. She loved it. It was like a two
Yeah, the
door.
Cordoba, I think Chrysler was trying to make it like their Cadillac.
Okay, it was actually a nice looking
It was a
car.
luxury car, and they were selling the luxury, rich Corinthian leather and
Oh wow! So it was
That's
like a
remember that's what he said, and people didn't exactly know what it was, but it sounded great.
it was like an upscale Chrysler,
Upscale, yeah,
like a
yeah.
like
But it
kind
didn't
of like
last long. Once the commercials stopped, they stopped making them. So I don't think
I was trying to remember when they
they made as
stopped.
many or sold as many as they wanted.
Did they stop making those like in the 1980s?
I think not long after the commercials ended, they discontinued it. Yeah, and there's
Yeah,
not many that lasted. I don't think it was a particularly well-made car. Well, the
yeah,
'70s cars fell apart in America. They were making a lot of
they
junk.
were. Yeah,
Let's
it
be
was
honest.
weird.
The Japanese cars started to come in and were much better. So
You
American
know what
cars,
car you used to
not
see a
good.
lot of? It was weird in the 70s. It was kind of like the Camry of today, the Oldsmobile Cutlass.
Yeah.
You saw that like all that was kind of like the Camry of the
Yeah,
70s.
GM had a bunch of like what was it, the
Cut-
Buick Cutlass?
Yeah,
Oldsmobile Cutlass? The Oldsmobile Cutlass.
oh, they had the
Buicks. All
Buicks,
GM cars. Yeah.
Cadillacs were
Cadillacs. Although
beautiful.
Cadillacs aren't Cadillacs anymore. They don't look anything like Cadillacs used to, the new ones.
Yeah,
They're
they
nice looking, but they don't look like Cadillacs. They look like
no,
every other
they were
car.
so beautiful. I love
Yeah.
they had the beautiful front, with the
Yeah, our
lights.
family had three of them, and
They're beautiful.
growing up, we had a '67 one, which really looked cool back then. And I think we had one in '86, and then
Wow.
the last one I got was like a '94, '98,
They
'98, I
were
think.
like limousines. They were
They
beautiful.
really were. Yeah. Now every car has all the stuff you used to be able to only get in the luxury cars, but
I thought it was kind of fun because, like certain cars, they always had people would say a black Cadillac or
yeah. Well, that was
yeah,
like you strive to be able to afford a Cadillac. Yeah.
Cadillac. Yeah. My
Yeah.
mom always wanted one.
Yeah.
I remember that. We had Oldsmobile, but they're beautiful.
Yeah.
They're beautiful car. Yeah,
But I guess
I
Ricardo got a free Cordoba as long as you do those ads, I guess.
yeah, I know. So that was kind of like the Cadillac of the
Of
Chrysler.
Chrysler, I think that was their version of whatever. Yeah,
Cordova, Chrysler Cordova, and
but
there was
he did that, and then he'd after Fantasy Island, I guess he'd pop up on things once in a while. But he
yeah.
had a good career. I think he lived to 90, almost 90. Yeah,
He seemed like a. I wonder if he had
very
children.
religious man, from what I'm told. Good family. Our friend Dina Martin, who we know a little bit from seeing
Yeah.
her, and then she does a show on YouTube every Friday. The singer, Dean Martin's daughter, she went to high school with Ricardo's, at least one of his daughters.
Oh wow.
They went to Hollywood High, and she said he was, the kids were nice, and he was a nice man.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That so that is so nice. I wonder who he was married to.
He was married for like 50, 60 years. I don't know if she was an actress. I don't think she was. Oh,
Yeah.
no, I think she was an actress, maybe, but maybe she stopped when they got married. But yeah, they're
I so
married.
it,
One marriage, pretty good in
he seemed
Hollywood.
one married guy. Yeah, he didn't strike me as like
A very religious man. Yeah, Catholic. I believe he was Catholic, but very religious man. Yeah.
that is so not that
Never
is
heard any scandals about Ricardo. No.
no.
Rarity in Hollywood that you don't hear anything about anybody, but he
Wow. That
always
is
professional. They said he always showed up, knew his lines.
yeah, he seemed like he had his act together. He seemed
Yeah.
like he looked fairly tall.
I think he was 6 feet, maybe 6'1". Yeah.
Yeah, didn't look
Good
short.
tennis player, they said. And then I think he hurt his back making
Okay.
some movie. And then I think the last few years he was in a wheelchair. I mean, he could walk, but he had back problems. But he was a good tennis player, they said. So,
Oh,
yeah.
I wonder if he knew Dean Martin or Frank Sinatra or.
He was on a Dean Martin show a few times. There's clips on YouTube,
Oh wow!
Ricardo on there. So,
Oh gosh!
I'm sure he knew him. Yeah.
Oh
Well, they
wow!
probably did because, his daughter and, of course, Dean Martin's daughter went to the high school. So they probably knew each other from that.
Wow! That is so neat.
Hollywood High must have been a fun place to go to school back in this, what, 50s, 60s, and 70s, right? All
I,
the,
I wonder if Lucille Ball's son went there, Desi or Nez.
Yeah, no, yeah, I guess they probably Lucy Jr. and they might have gone there. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's oh my gosh. I was
They
watching
must have had like really good like talent shows, high school talent shows.
oh my gosh, you have all these they're kids. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really oh my gosh.
Either Hollywood High or Beverly Hills High. I'm not sure, but I think it was Hollywood High. Yeah.
Hollywood oh my gosh. It was real wow. It's so neat. Just to see these places. Yeah, that's I hope to get out, be fun to see California
Yeah,
some
when it gets a little better out there to visit.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
LA and New York aren't great places to visit right now.
No,
So they
no, I
clean it
got
up.
oh my gosh.
But yeah, we just wanted to remember Fantasy Island tonight. And if you never saw the show, I believe it's on one of those Roku channels. You can look it up. It was
Yeah.
on for, I believe, 6 or 7 years. 7 years, I think.
Yeah.
7 seasons.
7
And,
seasons. It was
good entertainment. Not one we had to think a lot, but it was good.
it was good. And it
Nice
was
little stories.
absolutely.
Made you
ab-
feel good at the end. I mean, every show ended, people were happy, content, or they learned something.
That's what I liked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of those shows like, later on where it's kind of dramatic and bad things happened. Everybody
No.
learned something
That's what I used to like about a
from their
lot of
fantasy.
70s and early 80s shows.
Yeah.
It was more
And, you saw people that you recognized from either old movies or you like from other shows.
absolutely.
So we'll check it out. So thank you, Ricardo. Good
Oh,
show. I remember that. I'll give it a thumbs up. You do
thumbs up.
too. Good entertainment over the years. God bless Ricardo and Hervé.
God bless you both.
And that'll wrap it up for this edition. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you again next time.